Wake from reality. Wake to hear. Wake from your dream. Wake to see. Wake from the fear. Where is tearing at the seams.
Hello, everyone. Welcome again to the Odyssey of Truth. We are at number 7. I can't believe how fast things have gone, even though we've been a little slow in getting things out. Cambell and I have been busy on our own mutual odysseys, getting our life set and in order. And today we have decided to talk about currency, cuckold by currency. Everyone knows what cuckold means. It means basically being fucked, we'll say. I hope this passes the YouTube censors when I get to use words like that. But it means being cheated on, whether you know it or not. There is another word I heard, Cambell, which I'll share with you when I did my research, cuckquean. That's if it's the opposite, that you're cheating on your lady. So she's a cuckquean and a man is a cuckold. But either it means you're in a situation where you're married, I'm guessing, or in sort of a relationship, and you're being messed upon behind your back.
Nice, almost like being in a relationship with mind controllers who are, surreptitiously taking some of your wealth while you don't know about it.
Yeah, it's exactly that. I would say it's like currency. What do people think about when currency? I would say generally people are thinking about money and what they're spending. And Cambell and I talked about it a little bit before we got on, whether it's digital currency or paper currency or shells, or you're trading favors or debt or credit cards or gold or silver, art, whatever it is. Whatever you can trade for something else, I would say could be looked at as currency, and that it moves from one place to the other and maybe gets you something or allows you to share something.
Yeah. And currency, obviously, from current. Things that flow, right? Currents of electricity, currents of the ocean. It's a flow. That's what currency is. And I think that's sort of the problem is we all think we've got currency, but it's kind of not, is it? Because it's not allowed to flow like it should naturally. It's stopped all the time, and people want to grab bits of it out and then sort of send it in different directions. So it's not a natural thing that we're doing. Nature is give and take, right? It's win-win. It's like it's an exchange. You don't just yeah, we've been taught that currency is something that we should probably build up and get lots of it in a bank and have lots of numbers in a screen or a book. But I think really the way that currency works best is when it's just left to flow. You just pass it forward, people pass it to you, and then you get this symbiotic relationship where things can evolve and be built rather than controlled, because this is the whole problem, isn't it? Controlling the flow basically stops the flow, I think.
Yeah, and it comes down to like what cuckold means is that if you're in a relationship and you're building a happy family or a happy life, you're expecting the other person is being kind, generous, sharing, and above all honest, in that, you're getting what you're paying for, so to speak, and you're putting in the sweat equity. Let's say if you do that in a marriage or anything, or even in a business partnership, and you're expecting the other person to do the same. And I guess cuckold is, basically they're taking your energy or your time and doing something that you don't want them to do with it, not so nice with it. So you can look at, well, what is inflation? What does the government do when they tax you? What are the ways that, if you look at the Canadian convoy garbage for a while, that happened where they tried to spend their energy helping their fellow men and women, and the government said no. So basically you built a relationship. Let's say you had $1 million savings in your bank, and you said, well, I want to spend 10,000 of that helping, Joe and his truckers, because I don't believe in whatever the government is doing. And the government said, well, we're going to cuckold you instead by basically taking that money. What did they say? Give it to charity or keep it or send it back. But, the bottom line is you did whatever you did in your life to build up that currency. And then you weren't allowed, so to speak, to plug it into where you wanted to plug it in.
Yep. And this is the scam, right? This is the ultimate scam in currency is, we know that, all this, money, right? These bills, they don't have any intrinsic value. Their only value is the value that we give them, right? If we believe it's worth $100, then it's worth $100. But it's actually just a piece of paper. And what's happening is, these people who are, cuckolding us, we're taking their useless paper and we're swapping them things like land and minerals and our lives, our hours every day and our sweat equity and all this stuff for nothing. And it's like Lorenzo said, we can get $100 and then you can get, President Brandon can go out and just print $17 trillion and then your $100 is worth 50. Right. So this is what we're talking about. It's not something, it's something that's, that they go in and they change and alter, on purpose, right? That they want to, fuck us, if you want to put it that way. This is the whole scam. And the deal is they want us to end up with all this worthless money that we think's worth something, and they'll have all the resources. So yeah, we've I think the question is, what do you do when you find out someone's cheating on you, and someone's, doing the wrong thing behind your back and they've been doing it the whole time? Do you forgive them and say, oh, sorry, we should start again? Or do you actually look at them and realize, okay, this was bad from the start. They've been out to get me from the start. Time to cut those tires and get rid of it. And that's it. They've only got the power, these people that are controlling this currency. They've only got the power we give them. And that's our currency, right? That's our true currency. We can stand together and use energy and thoughts and all this kind of stuff. And that's a much better currency, much better than their paper falsities.
I mean, it can even go deeper than that. There's so many people on the internet now saying, well, debt currency is bad, but you should get digital currency, or digital currency is bad, you should save gold, or gold is bad, you should get platinum futures, and it's kind of like if you're in a bad relationship and, you have one marriage, or some people have 3 marriages or 4 marriages. They go from gold to silver to debt to credit to art to whatever. And really, you're just cutting off one head for the next if you're not creating the life in the way that you want. And, Campbell's right. I think on a physical level, trading your life for pieces of paper is what it is and can waste your time. But on an energy level, as creative beings, we want to get a little metaphysical here, let's say, or quantum physically here, and that we make our reality through how we are and who we are and what we focus on and what we create. And if you're focusing on a job, and it doesn't really matter if that job is giving you, Australian greenbacks or USA greenbacks or yen or francs or whatever, or if you say, well, that's bad, I'm going to save money, or that's bad, I'm going to save gold, or that's bad, I'm going to save shells because suddenly shells are worth money, or monkey tails, or the ones that have tails anyways. But the bottom line is, let's say you're spending your whole life in that job. And so you're trading, as Campbell said, your time and your life for fill in the blank, whether it's bills or credit or art or whatever. But at the end of the day, your life is still gone for a job that you traded for.
For what? Yeah. This is the thing, right? And we don't get to have it back, and we don't want regret, right? We've probably all heard the story of, that they interview the old people on their deathbeds, and they don't say, I wish I had a bigger car or a bigger house. They just say, I wish I danced more. I wish I spoke more truth. I wish I spent more time being me. The thing is with currency, I mean, now I've obviously mentioned, crypto, and in my point of view, that whole thing, it's, the fiat's collapsing. So to me, it's a better place to have wealth at the moment. But the thing is with all this crypto is if you're spending all your time trading and you're just using that as a new way to make money, you're kind of missing the point, because that's just the old system. It's just the old system with a different name on it. That's all it is. That's much different, to like holding gold or silver and trying to just make sure that when they print more money, you're not losing your wealth. But I see at the moment this crypto thing, and it's all about trading, right? It's the big thing. Everyone's trading. And apart from the fact that we know it's manipulated, this is really just a way of giving us something that we think is new and looks new, but the way they're using it is exactly the same way as they were using it back in the 80s and the 90s in the old system, with all their crashes. We know there's a crash every 30 years, in all these markets. So I just want to mention that is currency, we've got to focus on our life, right? That's it. I mean, whoever ends up with the most numbers in their bank account at the end does not win. It's the person who lived who wins. So I think this is the big thing in this whole currency exchange is we need to look at it more as an exchange, not this holding. How much can I get? How many more numbers can I have in my bank account? It should be more, well, I'm part of a community. Has everyone got what they need? Are we all doing well? Are we going forward? Are we building something better? That is where we need to be, you know. And it's just a completely different way of looking at it, I think. So this is the big thing I'm thinking. You know, we know the last system was all about accumulating money, right? Putting value into things and not people. So I think that's one of the biggest things that we need to you know, think about. You know, I don't want to tell people what to do, but you know, that's sort of what we need to change, our perspective on what currency is and what we're supposed to do with it, and how it actually works.
I mean, crypto, right? From the crypt, from the death, blockchain, another chain, a block. You know, I've seen and I've read that, you know, all the digital mining goes on in China for the most part, huge computers using more energy than cities, mining something that's not really real. I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't put money into digital currency or gold or silver. We're not saying any of these things, or different whatevers, or land, or like, up to you really what you feel like doing with your time and energy. It's more like when the day comes and they turn the computer off and your digital wallet's no good, or someone won't accept money, or you're climbing up a mountain with, you know, 10 kilos of gold in your backpack, or any of these things. I mean, you're going to want your health. You're going to, like, you are the currency, I think, is what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
And without your heart, without your life, without the source of something that's literally priceless, you get one life, you get so much time. What you do with it's going to be up to you, and the rest you don't really have control over. I'm not sure I believe anybody when they said, you know, it's anonymous, it's this, it's that, so nobody can do anything bad to your digital, your currency, or this. I mean, it's out of your hands. The bottom line, really, for any of these, right? Someone has to accept your digital currency. Someone has to accept your gold. Someone has to accept your francs or US dollars or American dollars or Australian dollars or Canadian dollars. Someone has to accept these. Whereas if you have your own currency flowing, nobody has to accept it. It's just kind of you making your way through the world with your own imagination, hands, and determination, which is very different than depending on some unit of something to get you something.
I mean, it's got a lot to do with trust, hasn't it? You know, like, I mean, because I guess this is why people accumulate things, right? They want to have, you know, what is it? A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, or whatever. And all these little sayings they like us to believe. You know, it's better to have money in the bank, you know, just in case. But is it? Because you've got to do stuff to get that money in the bank, right? You've got to trade your time, or you've got to do all these different things. So is that better, or is the best currency health and happiness? You know, is that what we should be focusing on? Because, you know, there's that, I think it's Hopi, is that, you know, when the last tree is cut down, man will finally realize he can't eat money. Same thing, you know, when the computers are shut off, man will realize he can't eat crypto, you know, man will realize he can't eat gold, all these things. Like, these are just trading things. They're no good. Like Lorenzo said, unless someone wants to trade it with you, wants to buy it with you. And then you've got to be able to trade it for something you want, like food. I mean, that's wealth, right? If you have, you know, a place to live, land, whatever, a community, and you have shelter and food for everyone and clean water, and you've got community, you've got communication, what else do you really need, right? I mean, that's life, because we've been taught we need all these things, and life is this, and oh, you've got to have this, and what will the Joneses think, and blah, blah, blah. But like we said before, at the end of the day, when you're on your deathbed, is that what you're going to be thinking? Oh my God, I own so many gold bars, and I got so much, you know, digital coin in my thing. Oh God, I'm glad I got that one right. You're not going to care. You're going to be like, shit, I wish I ripped all that out and just spent it or gave it away and had some fun. You know, and that's the other thing, right? Is the fun it's in spending and giving it away. It's not in holding it. You know, all these people we see, you know, these billionaires that are put up in front of us, you can tell they're holding on to stuff because they look like they're full of shit, right? Because they're holding on to everything. They're these big puffed up people. Oh, they don't look healthy. They're just like, they're desperately trying to hold on to these things outside of them and trying to associate. That's me. That makes me good. But look at these people. They're a disgrace. So that's another thing, you know, is if that's what 90% of the people on this track end up like, you might want to pick a different track, right?
Yeah, I mean, I hear people saying, you need money. Sure, I'm not saying you shouldn't save if you need to, or do whatever you want to do to make your life the way you need to. We all kind of have bills and we all have things we need to do. And I've talked with people that say, well, I need money for my health insurance or my dental, or in case I get sick. But if you look at things in a bigger perspective, if your currency is flowing well and you're full of juice and energy and power, and I mean on a personal level, maybe you'll never get sick. If you're growing your own food, with you see Campbell's background there by a beautiful waterfall and you're drinking pure water, maybe you will never need, to invest in food futures or pork bellies, or care about all the chickens they kill in Taiwan because there's the next chicken flu coming and they're going to stop your flow of your truck or your wheat or your corn or whatever. All these things they try and scare you with. If you have your own self-sufficiency, that's not going to bother you. Right. And, once again, there's a bridge. Maybe you need to do a little bit less of one, a little more of another. If you're living in a city where you're working just for money or just for gold or just for cryptocurrency or whatever, take one step towards something else for yourself. Learn one skill that can get you away from it. Learn two and see where that takes you and how that makes you feel. And it can't be taken from you. If you know how to grow things,
Exactly.
no one can change that, right? If you know how to build a house, no one can take that away, right? If you know how to, homestead water or cattle, if that's what you want to do, if you want to be a rancher, no one can take those skills away from you. You can't be cuckolded, by accident, because no one could turn your wallet off or stop the trucks from arriving with your next, set of candy bars or whatever it is that you need for your life.
Yeah, that's the thing with all this, wealth accumulation. You've got to put a lot, it's 90% out of your hands, isn't it? It's all to do with other people and what they do and what industries do and what the bigger picture is in the economy and rah, 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 rah. When, in the end, it, like you said, it's what that in the past, there used to be like traveling tradesmen and they'd be like, whatever, horseshoers, or they'd be carpenters, and they could just travel wherever they wanted, and wherever they turned up, they'd say, this is my skill, and they'd get work and they'd survive. And that's how they used to live their life. And, it's this whole thing again of it wasn't how much can I accumulate just in case I can't get work in the next town. They assumed they would get work. And this is the thing, we're told, oh, there's all these deadly things trying to attack you and make you unwell, I mean, look at the last 2 years, right? And age is a big one for me too. Every like how many times in a year do we get asked, how old are you and what's your birthday? Like so often, right? That puts you focus on your age. So I believe that we get what we focus on. So if you believe that, oh my God, everything's out to get me, where this sick people we need from, you're going to get sick. If you believe, oh my God, every year's getting faster, look at me, I'm getting older, oh my God, you're going to age. So, maybe we just need to trust, right? Like their whole system is built, it's all predicated on our fear. If we don't believe that we're going to get sick, there goes their pharmaceutical industry, right? I mean, that is one of the biggest ones. And it's a lie. You get out there, drink, good water, eat good food and exercise, and that's all you need. Get in the sun. You'll be healthier than anyone in the city. So this is the thing. We need to really, look at what we've been programmed to believe. Is it true? And is there a better way? Because when you look into the past, everyone seemed happier. They had more time. They were doing what they wanted, and they didn't have all the crap, and it's like the word possessions, right? The more possessions you have, the more possessed you are. They possess you. That's what they are. They're possessions. So I think we need to focus on much more of the experience, right? Who we are, what we can offer, what our skills are, and just go forward giving rather than accumulating.
Yeah, it's obvious. If you need a system, you get tied to the system, and that's how they get you by the short hairs. Yeah. Well, you need to take this, medicine, or else you can't work, or you need to do this, or else we won't let you buy your food here. You need to do that, or else you can't do this or visit. I mean, obviously, you tie yourself to something or someone's, whether they're human or non-human, or even just assholes. If you want to look at regular people that aren't so nice, that have control over you, and they don't love you. They don't care for you, right? They literally can cuckold you or cuckquean you because you're trusting them. Let's say you're the nice person going, oh no, the government would never do that, and oh no, my bank would never listen to them to do that, or my neighborhood store would never not let me in because I'm not wearing a diaper. Pick the part of your body you want to put your diaper on, and then suddenly, for whatever reason, those things aren't true. So you're left holding like a bunch of bills, even if you've got money in your hand, or a bunch of gold or whatever, but they're going, well, I'm sorry, we're not going to take your money because, you haven't altered your DNA enough for my liking to come into my store and buy a hamburger or whatever. I mean, there's so many things where it's obvious that nobody really wants to be dependent on something that doesn't care for them or doesn't love them or doesn't have its best or your best interests at heart. And once again, I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying there's an answer tomorrow that you quit your job and run to the woods, and if you don't have the proper skills, you'll be dead, especially if in a country where it's cold in the winter or not enough rain in the summer or whatever. But it's a matter of slowly switching away from what you feel is not good for you towards what you feel might be a quick break too, right? If your wife's cheating on you, your husband, maybe you want to get a divorce and go away right away.
Run.
Head out the back door, but then don't dive into the next relationship until you figure out maybe what went wrong in that one. Don't trade gold for digital until you know why it didn't work for you in the first place. And always, I would say, with any relationship or anything else, look at yourself first when there's something that's not working, and try and figure out how your currency or your energy, if you want to look at yourself as a battery, let's say, the other thing Cambell said, if you don't age yourself, maybe your battery stays strong for 500 years, 1,000 years. I've heard all kinds of stories. Maybe you don't have to get old at 65 and retire and stop moving into the grave at 82. Who knows what's possible if you keep your currency and your energy flowing well.
Well, that's another big one, isn't it? This whole retirement thing. Yes, your life is over, your working life is over. Now you can go off and die somewhere over the next 10 years. I mean, we got to stop believing all this stuff. It's all crap. I mean, and that's 40 years earlier than the Bible, says that cut our life significantly, but it says 120 years. We're not even getting there. And this is all belief. We can only be what we believe we are in the end. But yeah, it's all about currency. It's all about exchange and rejecting their system. This is what this whole Great Awakening is understanding this system that we've been taught we needed. Here's your job. Okay, now you need a car, right? So go get a loan. Okay, now you need a house. So you need a bigger loan. Now we've got you for 30 or 40 years. Game over. We got to stop, buying this lie and stop spreading it to our children and to other people. And we've got to be in a place, I believe, and I'm not trying to tell everyone what to do, but we've got to look at what world do we want to be in? What do we want to be a part of? Where do we want to be in 20 years? What do we want the future to look like? What do we want our kids or grandkids or nieces and nephews or just the young people? What kind of a world do we want them walking into? And this is what we can do. So all these industries that we think have value, most of them don't. They only have value in the system to be another cog. So really the only things that have value are good food, good water, living well, building, good housing and structures and things like this, things that we can actually use. Like I said, if you spend all day on a computer trading whatever, gold, crypto, money, whatever, at the end of the day, what have you got? If someone turns off, steals all your money, what are you going to eat? This is the thing. So that's fine if you enjoy that, but I wouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. If you've got all the food that you need, if you've got accommodation, if you've got water, if you've got community, then go and spend your time, playing around if you want to, because if it goes all bad, you've got everything you need. You're not risking anything. And I think this is where we need to look at it. We need to, globalization is the opposite. It says, don't have anything for yourself. Everything's got to be trade, right? It just, just make one thing and trade and you'll be fine. But that's the biggest lie ever. We need to make sure we've got everything we need first, and then everything comes after that. Jobs and working and all this comes after that. So, and of course, if it isn't working, like Lorenzo said, if you're jumping from gold to crypto to money to bananas, it's not the market, it's you. Stop and just ask what's going on and get a different direction, because we know there's someone out there that's been in gold their whole life and they're making money. There's someone who's been in crypto, they're making money. There's someone who's in something else. There's people making money and losing money in all of these. So the only, factor that's different is you. And everything always has to come back to us. It's like Michael Jackson said, right? You got to start with the man or woman in the mirror.
Yeah, I mean, trading one system for another system, you're just trading your currency for a different system. You plug into this system, you plug into that system. You are the system. You are the currency. You've got to figure out, in my opinion, how you work and how you don't work and what's good for you and what's not. And another chat I want to have with Cambell maybe next. We might be doing the final one for our Odyssey of Truth before we jump on to another thing, because I've got several other ideas. Cambell and I've already discussed is maybe we'll discuss imagination. How you can figure out a better way to do what it is we're talking about. So perhaps we'll do a bit or maybe even a couple of series on imagination next, and how that can help you get out of your current system. And learn. I mean, maybe you have to see yourself as a battery or as life or as multidimensional or as is immortal in a different sort of way. Where you come from, where you're going, what your heart is asking for, without any of the excuses that won't allow you to put yourself. Maybe you could become uncuckoldable by not giving any of your power away. Not that you shouldn't have love or relationships or make children if that's what you want, or be married, or be in any permutation of relationship that you feel you want to do. I'm not saying any of that. I'm basically saying is if you have your currency flowing really well and something gets moved away, you're not going to care. Yeah. Right. A digital wallet can be turned off. I don't care what anyone says. Even if it can't be, what happens if your legs stop working the next day? Oh my goodness, take my crypto and give me my legs back. It's like, sorry, or oh my goodness, I just, had a stroke and I can't move now. Will you accept my gold bars to fix my brain?
Yeah.
Be plenty of shysters that will probably take your money and pretend to help you, but
And how often do we see that, right? I've got all this money and I'm 50 and now I'm having a heart attack and oh my God, please take all the wealth I just earned and give me my health back.
Yeah.
Because there's another saying, I like my sayings and I'll get it wrong, but it's basically, a person in a normal life wants many, many things, but a sick person only wants one thing. When you don't have your health, that's all you want. And yep. This system gets us to trade our lives and our time to be unhealthy. It just does. And then they give us all their pills. So yeah, we've got to just change direction, and it doesn't have to be massive, just a little change. I want to go there. Okay. What have I done today? One thing every day, right? How do I move 1% closer every day? Because you do that, and before you know it, it's a year's gone by and you're almost where you want to be. So that's another thing that we get told everything has to change now. It's got to be massive change. You can change your world. Just give me 10 grand and wait till you see yourself next week. That's not how it works. It's just got to change yourself. So you're the currency, you're the spark. Nothing happens without your spark, right? Everything we do in this life, we initiate with our spark, our energy, our current, right? Our current, our energetic flow. If you want to do a trade, it doesn't happen unless you focus on it and you do something and put that energy and current into it. So the crux of all this is we are the only currency there is. Without us, nothing happens. And of course, the elites know this and they use that to try and steal our power, right? But we just got to say no, because we are the power. So everything happens. We're the starting point for everything. So keep that in mind. Like, no one has power over you. You can do whatever you want as long as you believe you can. And yeah, that's it. You are the spark. You're the current.
And that's where you came from.
Currency. Yeah, and that's where you came from. Exactly.
Everyone thinks about it. Your parents made you, didn't cost them any money. I mean, maybe these days they have to use special shenanigans and potions and lotions to make babies, but generally your parents loved each other, we'll say, or at least there was a higher power that made them want to do whatever they did. And something inspired them to make you whatever that was. And then here you are, and it didn't cost any money. Maybe the accoutrements around it cost a dinner or a drive-in back in the day or whatever, a bottle of champagne. I don't know. But the bottom line is it really didn't cost any money. You were made from currency. You came from currency. If you love someone, it's a current you feel. If you end up making children, you'll be using your currency. And it has nothing to do with a wallet or any politician or anybody allowing or disallowing. This is just something you did with your love in relation to someone else's love. And so you made more love. What people do with that or what you do with that is up to you at this point in your life. But, from there, you can do anything. And I'm hoping you'll listen after this. We're going to have a new Freedom Shift video that will be played directly after this video, after it gets released. And the reason I mention that is if you feel like you want to do something new and you're not sure what it is, Cambell and I and other people are both talking and sharing with many people. We're looking at building our own set of ways where you can enjoy creating, making, sharing your currency, building it without having to sell out to, to the beast or the devil or the worst parts of yourself. I don't say we have all the answers, because we don't. We're figuring out as we go along. But I have to say, the more I'm doing this, and Cambell and I have been doing this kind of actively for a few months now, the more I'm learning, the better people I'm meeting, the more our community is growing, the quicker we're figuring out how to make our own currency flow through our own artistic and creative endeavors. And I'm meeting great people from all over this crazy world or plane or crater, whatever you want to look at it, that are unique and beautiful in their way, and they're enjoying meeting us. And I hear about it every day. People saying they're so happy with what we're doing. It's close to their hearts. Thank you so much. And all we're really doing, Cambell and I, if I may be so bold as to talk for the both of us for a moment, is opening our hearts, our currency, and sharing it with you, and trying to encourage other people to do the same with us and with other people. And together we can become a big battery, and who knows what's possible from, putting our currency towards love and imagination and creativity, and not towards saving digital numbers in a wallet or gold bars in your bathroom or whatever it is, or as he said, bananas, bananas in your closet, whatever it is. More like, you're making something with your energy and it's growing for you.
Yeah. And like Lorenzo said, it's the more current you put out, the more energy you put out and intention, it comes back to you. We know this, right? Like attracts like. So yeah, if you're interested in looking and making a change, you don't know where you are, we'll have a link below. Click that. Like Lorenzo said, we don't really know what we're doing, but we're doing it anyway, right? Because we're the creators. And I think we need to understand this is we need to do things from creation. We need to create things. If we just look at the system and go, well, that worked for them, so I'm just going to copy and replicate that, that's not creating. That's what, the demiurge, the archon, whatever you want to call it, that's what it does. It can't create. And so we need to create things. We need to trust ourselves. And like I said, we'll get into imagination, because that's where all this comes from. But one thing I can tell you for sure is if you don't trust yourself to just give it a go, you're never going to get anywhere. And also if you think that every, minute you put into something, or every hour you need to be paid for that, there's two massive problems there. One, you're equating your life to a dollar value. So you've just basically written yourself off. Don't ever do that. But two, nothing will get done. Okay. Nothing good ever starts with money. Like, it starts from imagination, people working, intent, building up something, and it turns into something. It starts to create value. If you're someone who thinks that all there are jobs, and as soon as you turn up, you need to be paid for your time, you're living in the old system, and that's unfortunately where you're going to stay. So anyone wants something new, this is what we're doing. Like Lorenzo said, we're figuring this out. If you want to figure it out with us, please, contact us. We do definitely have things that we're doing now that are practical ways that we can change, where we're focusing and putting our energy and our currency as far as wealth and money. So yeah, get onto us. But I think the main thing is we need to really, really focus where where our currency is going. Because the more we focus on the old world and replicating that's just what we get. So it's got to be completely different. So yeah, click the link below and give us a chat. And if you've got ideas, let us know as well. Let's talk. This is all about building communities.
One thing I'll leave everyone with is you're that battery, so you have to make it, right? So no one's going to do it for you. If you're wanting to be carried away to a free land, or a free community where suddenly everything's better. Maybe it exists, but I don't know of one. I know I want a better life, so I'm making it. Cambell and I, we shot from the hip, so to speak, when we started this a few months ago. Suddenly, I'm doing a lot of work that I love. I'm meeting people that I love, and they're from everywhere. And they're sharing things I didn't expect possible. I do counseling. I'm doing it with younger people. I'm doing it with older people. I'm doing it with people in the middle. I had no idea the type of work I would get to do, other than now I'm getting to share with others, basically how to get their currency flowing. I would say love currency if you want to look at it. So their heart is working and their imagination. And so together, what I'm basically trying to leave everyone with here is if you have a notion to do something and you don't want someone to do it for you, you know, I'd be happy, Cam will be happy, other people we're working with would be happy to discuss and see what's possible. And we can figure out how, you know, you can make yourself uncuckoldable or uncuckqueenable, you know, so that you don't have to depend on anything and you can get your own battery and currency flowing well for yourself. Currency, it's great. Keep generating it, making it, comes from you, came from love, you know, flow it forward and see where it takes you.
Indeed. It's all energy exchange, guys. So yeah, give out good energy and it'll come back to you. And so thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed that one. Bit of a rude name there, Cuckhold of currency, but I mean, when we look at it, we know, right? They're doing it right now. They've been doing it for the last 100 years at least. So yeah, put your intention where you want to go. We'll be back. We're going to get into imagination. So if you're stuck about maybe what you want to do, what direction, how to get started, then stay tuned. And also you'll find links below for our Telegram. You know, if you want to be involved with Freedom Shift. And also please share this around, guys. Share it around if you think that, you know, there's a message that other people could use. We would appreciate it. And of course, give us a like, a subscribe, and you'll find links to both our channels below. So yeah, make sure you are subscribed and all that kind of good stuff. All right, guys. Well, thank you for spending a bit more time with us, and we will talk to you on the next upload of Odyssey of Truth. And hang around and watch our little commercial about changing your life and where you can put your energy.
Right. Love you all very much. Thanks for being here, guys and gals.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Freedom Shift. We're so happy you finally made it here. Campbell's in his background, the lovely waterfall. I'm in Japan with the sun coming through the window. We wanted to discuss the real reason we started Freedom Shift, the real reason we'd like to see you join us, the real reasons we'd like to get together is we feel loving people, doing loving things, helping each other to a loving way to make their currency strong, flowing well, happy and healthy, and all of those things are why we're doing what we're doing and why we are here. What do you think, Campbell?
The world's changing, isn't it? And we've got a choice in front of us. You know, we can choose to try and continue the system that we had for 2,000 years that, you know, pretty much destroyed the economy, destroyed people, destroyed nature. Or we can try something different, right? We can go out on our own and try something different because, you know, as we know, if we try and build something off the old system, it's going to have bad foundations. It's rotten, right? That stuff is it's rotten. And it's not going to work. So, yeah, we definitely need to go out there and create new things. You know, new ways of doing things, new systems, creating new products, right? To replace what's falling, because as we know, everything's falling, right? Banks are gone, medical's gone, education's gone. So, I mean, it's an opportunity, right? They're all falling and they need to be replaced. So we can look at it in either way we want.
Come to the newagora.ca. Check out some of the hubs we have going. I'm there, Campbell's there. There's some other people are there. There's a lot of other people joining us. The way I find it and the way I feel is I've been in a rat race. We've all been in it. You know, Campbell's had his jobs. I've had my jobs in the financial industry. And I think it would be good to be working with people where if you're sick one day or you're tired one day or you're distracted because your family's busy one day, someone's not going to come in and steal things out from under you, take advantage, or do something else that's dastardly unfriendly. The only people we're going to allow in to work with us are intelligent, loving folks that have something unique, beautiful, and authentically helpful to offer the world. We're setting up a network. We have a focus going on with the newagora.ca hub. Campbell and I have a focus going on with the information we're sharing. I'm discussing lovely things with so many lovely people. Come and join us, have a chat. We'll leave the links below, freedomshift.life. Someone will get back to you. Click the link, leave your information. One of us will get back to you, and we'll see if there's a possibility for the ways that we can grow, work, and help each other in our mutual understanding of how we can have a good life. Got to do something. You know, don't contact us if you want us to do something for you. You know, we're not going to pick up your ass and move you somewhere new. We're basically setting up a system where we can each pick up our own butts and move them to where we would like them to be. Whether it's, you know, better ways to be alive for your health, your wealth, where you're living, your heart, your community, your currency. There's all kinds of ways we can help each other to a better place without having to use the monster beast or otherwise unloving system that's, as Campbell mentioned, has been out there falling even as we speak.
Yeah. And the truth is, you know, we don't know what's happening. We don't know, you know,
you know, what's going to happen in the next 10 years. We don't. No one does. But we're doing it anyway. Right? We know that we want change. We know we don't want to continue this old system. We know we want something different. We know we can build something different. You know, we've got all the answers, right? So that's our attitude. And that's what we're looking for. You know, we're going to be on the front edge, going out there, creating new things, and we need to understand that we're going to make mistakes. We could stuff up lots of things, but they're just mistakes. That's it. Right? It's just saying, oh, you did that wrong. Try it a different way. So, you know, this is what we're looking for. We need pioneers, right? I mean, no explorers go out, you know, exploring the country and they sort of hit their first river and they're like, well, that's a bit hard. We better go home. No, you work out how to get over it and you keep going. So that is what we're doing here. You know, we're looking and we're going to be creating this new system as we go along. And we need some amazing people. So if that's you and you want to be involved, click the link below, get in contact, and we will let you know what we're up to and see if we've got something that fits your lifestyle.
Yeah, we're delighted to help you out. If you want something, we have some suggestions. If you have something, we have some ways to get there. If you need some help figuring that out, we have some people that can help you with that too. If you want to create some content and that's something you want to do, we can help you and put you, you know, as far as what we know is working in the right direction. And eventually when you're ready, polished and smooth, you know, maybe Cambell and I can even release you to our audiences, so to speak. When it's time and you're ready to be at the forefront and, you know, warts and all, as Cambell said, when you're ready to go over that first river, even though it's hard, and to move from that spot to the next, you know, we're willing to work with you as long as you're willing to work with yourself.
Indeed. Let's go forward and make this new world, guys. Click the link below, read and ship. All right.